I'm going to start this video a little bit different than I normally do, with a request. I'm going to ask that you watch this video to the end, because I know many people in the gun world today, with the advent of things like YouTube Shorts, have the attention span of a goldfish. And if you don't watch to the end, you're really going to miss out on a very positive review on this Derya Island Barrel Kit for the Glock Gen 4. Because when I first try this out, we're going to have a lot of issues. In fact, this product review is many weeks in the making. But as I go through my journey working on this review, you're going to discover all of the problems I had with this, and then what the company did to fix it. Because they're a new company, and there's a little bit of a learning curve with this. But if you only watch the first part of this video, you're going to think this product does not work, or not work well. But let me tell you, by the end, it's an amazing product, and I want to be open and transparent with you, and the company that has made this also agrees. So I want to show you my journey as I discover everything about this kit, and why I think Derya Arms is absolutely outstanding. Because like me, they want you to have all of the information. So without further ado, I present to you the product review on the Derya Arms Island Barrel Kit for the Glock Gen 4. Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault, and once again I'm coming to you with another product review. And the product we have on the table today might be really interesting, especially if you're a fan of Glocks and all of the clones of Glocks. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Derya Island Kit, and this is supposed to be an all-in-one slide and barrel for a Glock Gen 4. Now, Derya is a company I have worked with in the past. I reviewed their pistol called the Melic, which essentially is a Beretta 92 FS clone. They also make a Glock Gen 4 clone called the DY9. But if you're not looking to buy the complete gun, you can just get the barrel and the slide. And this is supposed to have an island barrel, which is a feature that's found on many high-end 2011s. It's supposed to be ported. And based off of the pictures I've seen online, it's a really good looking slide at that. So what I'm going to do is unbox this. We're going to try this out at the range and see if it's any good. Now, when they contacted me and told me it fits on a Gen 4, I realized I might have a problem. In my personal firearms collection, I have a Glock Gen 319 and a Gen 5. And I was thinking, well, I got to get a Gen 4. And then I realized my wife has a Glock 19 Gen 4. So it looks like I'm going to have to review this on this pink frame. So I just wanted to explain that before we got into the review. But we're going to see what this slide looks like on this frame. So who knows? It might be a great match. So let me go ahead and adjust the camera. Let's unbox the Derya Island Kit and see what it's all about. So here's the box the Derya Island Kit comes in. It has a label on it that says, "Don't check the box." So I guess we're not going to do that. But the box itself seems to be pretty nice. Let's go ahead and open it up. Looks like we get a canvas carrying case as well that is branded with their name. Let's open this up, see what's inside. Looks like we get some swag, some stickers, and if you ever got the DY9 as a complete gun, that is what it looks like. Those are stickers. And then we get the slide itself. And let's open this up and take a look at it. And there it is. And I gotta say, that is a pretty attractive slide. It definitely is for a Gen 4 and not a Gen 3. We do have the dual recoil spring assembly. We have some lightning cuts here. There's the island barrel on the top with all those ports. I like the attention to detail. That is a very tacti-cool looking slide. The front sight is removable with a screw. We get some fiber optic sights in the back. It's a complete slide, so we have all of the parts that you would expect. A striker, firing pin block, you have the end plate. Let's go ahead and take this apart and see what the barrel looks like itself. And there is the porting again, and all the attention to detail on the barrel hood. Here is the slide without the barrel. So I have a feeling this is going to give us a great degree of compensation. The rear of the slide is milled out for a red dot, and according to the literature I read, it is milled out for an RMR footprint, which is, of course, industry standard. Let's go ahead and put this back together and see what it looks like on the Glock. Let's go ahead and get my wife's Gen 4 19 out. Yes, it is pink. Let's take it apart and see if this slide fits on it like they say it will. And yes, that's all you got to do. And seems to be on there correctly. You pull the slide back, it's nice and smooth. You can see how that island barrel works. And once again, that is a feature found on many high-end 2011s. So I think they're trying to go for the competition market on this upgrade kit. And I have to say, I'm really impressed because the build quality seems to be there, the finish is nice, and it is feature-packed. And so if you're looking to upgrade your Glock Gen 4 or you have a Gen 4 clone, this might be a good option. Let's go ahead and insert the magazine and make sure it locks open. It sure does. All right, well, the next thing I want to do before taking it to the range is make sure that this milled out slide actually fits an RMR. So let me go ahead and get out a red dot and let's see if I can attach it and that it will hold steady. So I have the red dot that I want to use for this review mounted to the Derya DY Island kit, and I'm going to be using an Aimwin red dot because I also have this into the channel for review, so I thought I would try to kill two birds with one stone. But installing this red dot, I discovered that the front posts of the RMR footprint might be a little bit too high. I know this is a Chinese optic, so you're saying, well, what if you actually used a real Trijicon on it? Well, I had the same problem. It just goes on there a little bit tight. And there might be just a little tiny gap in the front, and it does wear on the front of the sight a little bit. I also tried putting on the O-Sight X as well. This also has the same footprint, and I had the same issue. So I would recommend that they might want to take another look at the top of this slide. It definitely works. You're not going to have a problem with it. It's just a really tight fit on all of these various optics. But I think it looks good. It is holding steady, and I would rather the dot be on there too tight than too loose. All right, so that's all the features and specs of this Island kit from Derya. I think it looks good. So now it's time to get it to the range and see how it performs. So let's talk about what I discovered shooting the DY9 Island Barrel Kit for the Glock 19 Gen 4. Well, it definitely works. In fact, I think it's more effective than a stock Glock 19C. I'm definitely feeling a lot of downward force when I fire this gun, and that should be expected because the ports are larger and there's more of them. But now let's talk about the accuracy. Obviously that group was very low, but overall it was a pretty good group, and this is actually something I was wondering about because, as you know, I had a hard time getting this red dot to seat on this slide. In fact, there still is a little bit of gap. So I knew I was going to have to do some adjusting. Now, right now, this red dot is unzeroed. So let's go back to the range and let's see if I can dial in this red dot with the mounting issue I have encountered. And having adjusted the elevation all the way, the gun is still shooting low. I don't think it's the barrel's fault. I definitely think it is the mounting of the red dot's fault. So this is something that I am noting, and I'm definitely going to let the company know about. And as I mentioned before, I did try other red dots that use the RMR footprint, and they all mounted the same. But let's talk about the group once again. It's still pretty good. I would say it's good practical or duty accuracy, especially for a Glock 19. And the lower, besides it being Cerakoted, is all stock. All right, so now that I have the red dots sighted in as best as I possibly can, I'm now going to double the distance of the target. We're going to put some more rounds through this, see if at further distance I can get that group to be a little bit higher, and just make sure this continues to perform well. And unfortunately, now we're experiencing other issues. We're having quite a few failures to extract, and now I'm starting to wonder what's happening here. I'm not really happy with the mounting of the red dot, and now with all of these functionality issues, There seems to be something wrong here. Now, when it comes to the issues that I'm experiencing, I'm starting to wonder if it has anything to do with the spring weights. Because I was mentioning on the Texas Gun Vault 2, my second channel, that I was having these issues, and somebody said when it comes to compensated guns, you definitely have to change the springs out. And I wasn't sure if the springs they included with this were the original stock weights. Also, I had a problem with the extraction, so maybe the extractor spring has an issue as well. So I don't really feel like I can continue with this review with the slide in this shape. So now I'm going to go ahead and contact the company. I'm going to tell them what I experienced, and I'm going to get their feedback and see what they say. And hopefully they'll be able to tell me how to remedy this, and we're going to get a good review on this Island Barrel Kit. So let me contact them and let's see what we find out. And it's been a few weeks, and what did we discover? Well, actually quite a lot. After filming that original range footage, I contacted Derya Arms and told them, this is what I'm experiencing. It has a lot of problems with this slide kit. And they said, okay, let's see the range footage. And I sent it to them. And then they said, we definitely want to see that slide back. They told me they sent out a few of these to other reviewers as well. Many of them experienced no issues, but a few others experienced exactly what I did. And so after they received my original slide back, they reported back to me saying, yes, it has everything to do with the recoil spring, and when it came to the RMR cut, it was definitely out of spec, and they needed to make sure that all of them were inspected before they left the factory. And they said, we're going to send you a whole new one. And this one has new springs in it. I don't know exactly what they changed out, but they said it's going to work. I also told them that I wanted to show all of my viewers everything I experienced, and they were completely on board with that because they really seem to be an outstanding company that cares about customer service, and they wanted to be 100% transparent, and they were willing to let everybody know they had a little bit of a mistake when these first rolled out. So I really have to commend them. And this is the type of company I love to work with because they're always looking to improve everything about their customer service and their product. All right, so now we have the new slide in hand. So the first thing I want to do is see if I can mount a red dot to it and see if that fit is better. Then of course, we're going to put it back on that Glock 19 and take it back to the range and see if it performs any better. So we have the new DY9 Island Barrel Kit installed back onto this Glock frame. It looks exactly the same as the other one, but you might know from this other red dot that I now have mounted to it, it is on there flush. I don't see any gaps and everything aligned like it should. So now I'm using a Siley red dot, but I did try 3 or 4 other red dots that have an RMR footprint, and they all now mount so much better. So I definitely think this is going to clear up the zeroing issue we had. So if you happen to get one of these kits, I'm 100% sure you're going to get one that is in spec, but if you don't, after my experiences with their customer service, I'm pretty sure they are going to fix any issues you might have. Now, when it comes to everything else, it looks exactly the same, and they have told me they have replaced all of the springs. So I'm not sure if these springs are heavier or lighter, but they have assured me they have tested them at the factory, and they now should run 100%. So that's what we're now going to test. So since I have a whole new barrel kit on this Glock, we're gonna start from the very beginning again. So we're gonna start at 7 yards. We're gonna put a magazine through this. Hopefully it's going to run great with no malfunctions, and we're gonna be able to zero this red dot. So let's go to the range and see what we find out. And this is exactly the result I was hoping to see. We have no more failures, but of course, I wasn't experiencing any of those failures to extract until the third or fourth magazine with the original slide. So we definitely have to put a lot more rounds through this to make sure that it runs consistent. But like the original test, we're getting a great degree of compensation. All of my thoughts mirror that original experience. And when it comes to the group and the zeroing of the red dot, it's doing everything it's supposed to do. Because this red dot is now properly mounted to the slide, I don't have to have it adjusted in any extreme way just to get those rounds to hit the center of the target. So this is definitely a huge improvement in doing everything it's supposed to do. So now let's double the distance of this target, put some more rounds through this Glock, and just make sure that this success rate continues, because this is a really cool product and a really nice upgrade to a stock Glock 19. And it looks like many of those original issues have been fixed. I'm really happy with its performance now. I'm still experiencing no failures to extract, no failures to feed. It's running great. The gun is comfortable to shoot, and the compensator is working wonderfully. And also, the group on the target, once again, is good duty or practical accuracy. When you put it onto a Glock Gen 4, you're going to get about the same group you normally would if you didn't have one of these ported barrels, because the trigger pull is the same and the frame feels the same in your hand. But you definitely have a different recoil impulse when you shoot it. This compensator really works well. All right, so now we're getting a good degree of accuracy. So now we're going to set up the target at 25 yards. I'm going to shoot this gun from the bench and with a rest to try to take as much of the human element out of the equation as possible. So let's go back to the range and see what the best group I can get with the DY9 Island Barrel Kit on this Glock Gen 4 is. And as an average gun guy, I'm not going to argue with those results. I'm pretty happy with them. The one thing I am noticing is that when it comes to the accuracy with this slide kit, it's about the same as a stock Glock slide and barrel. But when it comes to the degree of compensation and the recoil impulse, it shoots completely different. And I really do like it. I think it's an amazing upgrade. But I also like the fact that if you want to go back to your original slide, you can simply by just doing a field strip. That is pretty awesome. And you can keep the slides intact. All the springs, the barrel, everything. You only have to take the slide off and put the new one on. You don't have to worry about changing any parts over from one slide to the other. All right, so now some people might get this slide kit and want to use it for everyday carry and as a concealed carry pistol. So if that is the case, you're going to want to know, will it run hollow points? We had some issues with the original slide, so now if we change the shape of the projectile, will we have any feeding issues? So let's go back to the range and test this out. And it seems to be running well, and I'm really glad to see it. I actually had a little bit of concern when it came to this test because of the issues I had with the first slide, and it made me wonder, did they engineer the feed ramp or change anything that might have issues with hollow points? And it seems to run great, and we are getting very consistent ejections, and they're very strong. So I have no issues recommending this slide kit if you wanted to put it on your CCW. All right, so the last test I want to do, well, really isn't a test. It's me, once again, just wanting to have fun with any product or gun I have into the channel for review, and it's the mag dump test. So I'm going to load up one of the big, long Glock stick mags, and we're just going to do a big, quick mag dump with this thing. Obviously, I'm hoping it's going to run consistent. I hope we're not going to have any issues, and of course, I hope this is a lot of fun to shoot. So let's go back to the range, put a few more rounds through this, and then we'll come back here to the garage, and I'll give you my final thoughts. And as you can see, the gun is running great. We have a lot of consistent, strong ejections. We had no malfunctions. It's just running wonderfully. And of course, it's a lot of fun to shoot really fast. And as you saw from a lot of the impacts on the target, they were a little bit low. And that's because the compensator is working so well. And when it comes to compensated guns, I definitely prefer ported barrels over the ones with the comps on the end. I just feel like these are so much more effective. So what are my final thoughts with the Derya Arms DY9 Island Barrel Kit for the Glock 19 Gen 4? Well, since they fixed all of the original issues, it's running great. And I can definitely say this is a fantastic upgrade for my wife's Glock. I also think it looks fantastic. It definitely makes a blocky Glock look way more tactical. I love all those lightning cuts, and that island barrel is really neat looking. You don't see many guns with that type of porting, especially at the price point of what this kit is. So you get a ton of options, even the ability to mount a red dot to your slide. So if you have a non-MOS Glock, this is going to be a great drop-in option for you. So on my star system, how would I rate the Derya Arms DY9 Island Barrel Kit for the Glock 19 Gen 4? Well, I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 stars. I know when this review started out, I was worried it was going to get 0 or 1, but they fixed and addressed all of the issues. And to be honest with you, I hope they offer more of these kits for different models and different generations. I think this is something the market would definitely be interested in, because not everybody has a G19 Gen 4. So we'll just have to see what the future brings. So let me know in the comments section below, what do you think of this drop-in island barrel kit? What do you think of island barrels in general? And do you like ported barrels? So, as always, thanks for watching.